Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I just sold my black and gold MCM, and in return they gave me this dresser. They probably needed room for the new one. So I decided to show you guys what I'm going to do with this one. First things first is take the hardware off. Every channel talks about the hardware. I think we all know that it needs to come off. The next thing you need to do is clean the furniture. As you can tell, it's nice and shiny. And I accomplished this with Crud Cutter. Crud Cutter is a no-rinse TSP substitute. TSP is trisodium phosphate, which is a highly alkaline substance. It's extremely irritating to the skin, the eyes, and your furniture. It will ruin your paint, and if you don't wash it off, you'll just be in big trouble. But this is no rinse, which makes it much better. They claim it's biodegradable. It's probably not non-toxic. It has caution on it, so it's probably an irritant as well, but not as bad. You can leave it on, and cleans up furniture very nicely. You can tell that it's shining, which is good. Next, what I'm going to do, not going to use this, but I'm just showing you as an example. I'm going to take the top off because it's chipping, which means it's not going to give me a flat surface. Going to go outside. Hey Colby, hey, just promise me one thing. You're not going to freeze. It's like 16 out, 16 degrees. Most people, it gets down to 55 and they start shaking and they're scared of the cold. But you go down to 16 degrees. And you handle it. That's why we're painting in the living room and terrifying the family with it. You can go now. That's all you wanted to do, really? As a disclaimer, he only goes out to go to the bathroom and then he comes back in because he knows it's cold. See? Nothing to worry about. We actually take care of our pets unlike other people. Alright, so I'm in the garage. Got the fireplace going. Trying to strip down these drawers. Be sure to always have a small particle filter on your mask when sanding. You do not want this stuff in your lungs. They use stains, and just getting dust in your lungs in general is not good. Your body has to deal with detoxifying that, and over time it's not going to be fun. So let's get started. Did I blow a fuse? Oh, I unplugged up at the ceiling. I got a little bit of humidity on the front of my camera, or is it the back? I always get that mixed up. So I'm going to switch it around to the selfie side and give you guys a weird angle. Take note, I'm recording this in real time, not fast forwarding it, not slowing it down. This is how it's done at normal speed. You're going to see that we have dark edges that the sander is going to miss a little bit of due to the surface not being completely flat. If you use the edge of your sander very carefully, you can get that out and then run it flat back over to smooth that out as much as you possibly can, all very carefully. While you're sanding, you'll feel a little bit of tension, and once you hit the wood, that tension of whatever material you were taking off seems to ease up, and it will slowly glide you over. I'm noticing the bearings on this Black & Decker are already wearing out from pressing down too hard with the random orbital sander. So I'm trying to hold it a little bit lighter, a little bit more so gliding on the surface rather than putting on too much pressure, unless I'm using the side. Ah, yes. Heat, give me warmth. Even though I have the heat on, it's still cold in here. It's probably like 16 degrees out right now. Stripping it had been fine with the lower grit until I got into this hard to reach surface. So I'm going to switch over to 220 or whatever I have available in a higher grit. If you're just going to paint, all you really need to do is scuff sand with your hand. You don't really need to do anything other than that. It's just make some really tiny micro scratches. Once you see discoloration of the surface, you're pretty much done, and then you can go on to priming and then painting. This is all it takes for scuff sanding. Notice how we're getting some dust, and we took some of the sheen down a little bit. All you need to do is wipe that off. You got enough scratches in there for primer to adhere to it. And then you're ready to paint after priming. The only issue though is that while I'm painting indoors, since it's cold, we're getting these drafts through the windows which are cooling my furniture and my paint, and then it's not drying properly, so then my paint is not adhering properly. And then I'm having a whole bunch of issues with my paint sticking, and that's not very fun to deal with. So always make sure you have a consistent temperature if possible. That's why a lot of this is just sitting here. Not just because of the size, but because I'm having issues with the temperature in my house. Even though I switched to 220, turns out this surface right here is incredibly thin, and I damaged it. So I may end up painting instead, because now I need to fill this in. I was just thinking to myself, you know, I don't like the boho, but I have a stencil maker. So maybe I'll try it, a vinyl cutter, right? I'll try it, I'll give it a go. I don't want any imperfections like that on my furniture, so I was having luck on this drawer because it's flat all the way across and only has these little edges to deal with. But this drawer, on the other hand, had these additional edges, which is what screwed me up. But I'm probably going to switch to 220 instead of 80. The previous owner that I got this from was talking about how her father would go on and on about how this is the maple dresser. The maple dresser. That's just a guy thing, right? So I kind of want to preserve the wood, but at the same time, it's up to me what I do with it. I am the artist in this situation. And I really don't want that little chip to show. I'm going to need to fill it in. But I could also cut it out. It might work. If I cut it, I don't know if you guys can see this. I wish I didn't screw up the lens on my phone. My head just spins when I think about the word boho. Boho. Who invented that word? It's such a weird word. Boho. All right. got that part done. I have a exhaust fan coming soon, so I will be sanding indoors, but I wanted to get a head start on this. Looks pretty good so far, except for that part up top. I have a lot of work to do for that. Anyway, I'll see you in Furniture Vlog Part 2. Will I paint it soft pink, or will I keep it natural with a Boho Stencil? Boho. Boho. Why? Why that word?